Well, coming from a historically marginalized and oppressed community, we've seen time and time again, city after city, state after state, all these incentives of bringing in companies, like you said, that just extract from the people and exploit our people. We have talents, we have skills, and we have our own needs. And so we want to change and shift the focus and paradigm. We're at a stage now in capitalism, like, look, they're not bringing in quality jobs anywhere. You all in New York, I think, will be catching a whiff of that soon with some new developments. And so our thing is like, look, nobody's coming to save us. What can we do ourselves with the resources and the skills that we have to transform our own situation? So workers getting together, trying to create, avenues of subsistence for themselves to make a little bit of money here and there to sustain themselves, improve their own quality of life. That's what we're about, not trying to wait for somebody else to come with some great new jobs or new ideas, but starting with the things that are within our ability to do and reaching out to allies and say, hey, support us in this effort and endeavor, and we're going to create the jobs and the substance that we need with our own hands. And for us, there's a political piece to this. We do see ourselves as on a project of trying to build socialism from the bottom up, and worker co-ops being a vehicle to do that based upon their democratic nature, both in terms of planning, management, execution, and the division of whatever is gained and how that's distributed to those who've done that labor and put in that time and effort.
So it'll be the workers themselves who build this and who reap whatever benefits it has.
Yes, that's right.
Instead of a group of investors maybe
Somebody
thousands of miles
here
away.
in New York City.
That's right. Figuring out
buttons,
a way.
right.
That's right. All right.
Yeah.
Your story reminds me of how I explain what probably is the most successful worker co-op in the world, the Mondragon Corporation in Spain.
Right.
There's a story they tell if you go and visit them, which I did, and they say back in 1956 there was this priest in this northern part of Spain, a guy named Father Arizmendi, and he made a famous speech to his little Catholic parish that he was the priest at. And he said, if we wait for people to come in here and give us a job, we'll all die of old age before it happens. So everybody laughs, and he says, so the only thing for us to do is not to wait. We'll be our own boss.
That's right.
We'll set it up. And with 6 workers, in this medium-sized town of Mondragon in the north of Spain, they set up this corporation, which today has 100,000 workers and is one of the most successful worker co-ops. It's actually a family of 200-plus worker co-ops. So in a sense, it sounds to me like you are following, in some sense, in those footsteps. You are trying to apply
explicitly,
here.
Very explicitly. I mean, Mondragon has been a driving force behind a lot of our thinking, going back over almost 30 years that we've known about Mondragon, and many people within our network have gone to visit it over the years. So we've taken a lot of examples and a lot of lessons from Mondragon. One of our key things that we borrow from them is, this is not heaven and we are not angels,
right?
Because it's challenging to do this type of work. As the old saying, as long as there's human beings on the planet, there's going to be politics.
Right.
So you have to deal with all the different types of conflicts and things that emerge. It's not easy, but they've I think blazed a path
Absolutely.
that we are trying to follow, learn from. We have to adapt to our own conditions, which we're doing. But very explicitly, we draw from Mondragon, always have.